What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we will be looking at Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 1 Unused Content. This is my second most played PvZ game behind the original Plants vs. Zombies. Anyways, let's see the unused content, PvZ Garden Warfare 1. By the way, link to the cutting room for PvZ Garden Warfare 1 unused content in the description. First off, we have unused graphics for a Gravedigger. The Gravedigger was turned into a boss before being cut entirely. The first graphic is the Gravedigger spotting icon that would hover over the player using the Gravedigger. The second graphic is when Gravedigger gets chosen and guarded off in the boss slots for that round. Next is the graphic for a game mode we will talk about later, but it was an antidote for the zombies on the scrapped game mode Chomp Fires. The actual antidotes were most likely just a placeholder. The next graphic also involves Chomp Fires, and it's for the radio part, in which zombies would have to collect and call for help in order to win, and it is also found in the end's files. Next, we have graphics for both the Engineer's Zombot turret and the Scientist's hand grenade, both of which were replaced by a different ability. The hand grenade was likely replaced by the Super Sticky Ball, as they were both kind of similar. It used to walk towards the enemy before exploding. Next, we have sticker pack graphics for abilities that you unlock by leveling up the character. Also, for some reason, the heal flower in this sticker has gold petals instead of the normal yellow. It seems like you don't have to level up. You didn't have to level up to unlock the default abilities, and it was from sticker packs instead. I think the change for you to unlock abilities by leveling up is way better. Next, we have sticker packs. One featured a Conehead and Buckethead zombie, one features a heal flower, and the last one features a Gargantuar, which looks like it can be from Battle for Neighborville, but it's not. The sticker pack with the Conehead and Buckethead are used as default sticker packs if the original cannot be found in PvZ Garden Warfare 2. Next, we have unused sticker book graphics, which interestingly, the game files refer to as cards, and 2 years later, a PvZ game with cards came out. Some of the plants and zombies use unused cosmetics. To me, the plants with the exact same organics kind of look like crystals. The foot soldier has the weirdest unused graphics. Also, there are none for All-Star, which is interesting. Next, we have a dummy card that says "Card No Exist" and it has a sad-looking Yeti on it. The card was most likely going to be used in case the card didn't have a graphic associated with it. Also, this exists in PvZ Garden Warfare 2 for some reason. And finally, we have an early version of the results screen for Garden Ops, and the image is split in two parts. First, I'll start off with the most well-known unused character in PvZ Garden Warfare 1, and that is Gravedigger, which was an earlier attempt at a scientist. It used a shotgun to kill plants, and it could plant gravestones to protect itself and raise AI zombies. It also had an unused ability named Hand Grenade, which was later considered for scientists before being scrapped completely. Gravedigger was scrapped mostly due to it having a lack of ideas. It is also a scrapped boss, and was replaced with Baron Von Bats. In the files of the game, Baron Von Bats is referred to as Gravedigger, and on launch day, its spotting icon in placeholder Zombot slots were in the game's files. Gravedigger did make it to other Plants vs. Zombies games, though. In Garden Warfare 2, it can be seen in a test tube in the Z-Tech Factory map. And it is also a zombie in PvZ3, who digs up bones and spawns zombies on the tile it lands on. So basically a tumor. A rock feature may have been planned for PvZ Garden Warfare 1, but was first seen in a Twitter message by EA. It was added to Garden Warfare 2 as Rock P, though. The Bling Chomper kind of looks like Disco Chomper in PvZ Garden Warfare 2, but was one of the original concepts of PvZ Garden Warfare 1, but was scrapped for it being way too underpowered. No further details were ever given. Next, we have SWAT Zombie. It was an unused character. It was involved with Gravedigger and has textures with Gravedigger. It exists in the files of Garden Warfare 2 and BFN, but pieces of info are missing there. I will be talking a tiny bit about this more later. And finally, we have Carpenter. It only appears as unused sticker book graphics next to the already existing engineers, but other than the one image, it does not exist. Next, we have debugging materials. And most of the options don't work, but I'll go over the ones that still have function and ones that sound interesting. Disable pre-round. While this one sounds interesting, it does not work. Kill all AI. Does not work, but I would like to see all the AI just instantly die. I think it would be kind of funny. Pause AI. This has no function, but I think it would be funny if it just made the AI stuck in place. Sticker Shop. If the button is pressed, it opens up the Sticker Shop. Add currency. It adds coins to the coin counter to buy sticker packs. You can get 1 coin, 25 coins, 100 coins, 500 coins, 1,000 coins, and 100,000 coins. Grant all inventory. Unlocks every character upgrade customization and customization. Gives you 10 million coins. Grant unopened packs. Gives you the packs you got for free at the beginning of the game. Redeem code. Open the redeem option on Origin. The Zombot appeared in the E3 reveal of PvZ Garden Warfare 1. However, it goes unused, but parts of the Zombot can still be found around the Cactus Canyon and Crash Course. In Garden Warfare 2, it was also scrapped from being a Garden Ops boss, but did make it into Zombopolis. Dr. Zombot also has an unused model, most likely to pilot the Zombot. Also, a van was going to be on the Zombot's back, most likely like the original game where the Zombot would grab a van and throw it at your plants to destroy them. Also, there's a bungee zombie like the original game, and it goes unused. I would imagine if you had potted plants, that the bungee would destroy it. There was also a mech gargantuar, like in PvZ 2, and it was planned for Garden Ops, along with the Future Ramp, which was likely a spawnable zombie, which both appear in the sequel of the game in Garden Ops. There is an unused question mark, which was going to be used as a mystery power-up for an unused game mode we'll talk about later, called Super Team Vanquish Mode. There are unused sounds for a hand grenade, which was a scrap power-up for scientists for sounds like this. The first one sounds like sizzling, which likely was it moving, and the other two are likely exploding up close or far away. There's an unused Zombot sound for it landing on the ground, which was used in the E3 trailer. There is also an unused sound for the Mech Gargantuar being selected on boss flats in Garden Ops. There's also some loading music, so here's a sample of what they sound like. Also, Loon's Skirmish sounds a little bit different with a choir 13 seconds in and a slightly different outro. The Rah 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 has a version that is just instruments, so here's what it sounds like. And finally, a different marching theme. It's slower and it has more trumpets than the original. To start off this section, we have Zomboss Factory. This map was most likely going to be part of Gardens and Graveyards and has 2 pages of concept art and the art of Plants vs. Zombies. Multiple pieces of that concept art show Zomba and the zombies, but it's unknown what it was like and what it was. The idea of the map was later reused for Z-Tech Factory and PvZ Garden Warfare 2. The Zomba assembly line was in concept art of Z-Tech Factory. Also, one of the cabinets from the concept art can be found in Driftwood Shores. And finally, parts of the concept art of this map was used in boss mode, reveal trailer. Next, we have larger maps for Gardens and Graveyards, and one from single player. Driftwood Shores, being an already big map, had 8 objectives to complete, which were the Zomboss Lair, Suburbs, Morena Docks, Beach, Market, Pirate Museum, and the Lighthouse. The original version of the final objective was longer than we have it today. The original version of the final objective was longer than we have it today. Rather than just going through a cannon as a zombie and land on the island to destroy the Mega Flower with your weapons, the original version had zombies have to avoid coastal rock formations, and also had to go through rings. This was removed for pacing and balance of the objective. Also, originally, the Mega Flower was going to shoot a laser at zombies, and zombies would have to use a laser on the shipwreck to fire back at the Mega Flower. The idea was removed because the zombies had way too big an advantage and was replaced by flax cannons in the end. Cactus Canyon is the shortest Gardens and Graveyard maps, only having 5 objectives, but it was originally planned to have 7 objectives, those being Cemetery, Trailer Park, Motel, Suburbs, Golf Course, Resort, and an airport, with the last 2 being removed. Also, Zomba Estate was originally connected to Suburban Flaps, but was split up in 2 maps, most likely for being for being too big, but with a little bit of hacking, you can actually see a teleporter in Samba East State. That leads to suburban flats. Also, Port Scallywag and Sharkbite Shores are also the same map, but are blocked off by terrain. And Chomptown and Garden Center very heavily implies they were connected based off the alleyways and roads, but seem to have been scrapped early on. Most of these do nothing and don't have a video or image, but there is one that works, which is Supply Drop, which summons a dark flower for plants and an engineered turret for zombies. This is the only one that does not use a placeholder icon out of all the unused abilities. The engineered turret was an ability that was scrapped for the engineer, and you can have two at the time on the field. If you try to place down another, the oldest one will explode. However, it was shown in the zombie class reveal trailer, meaning it have to be cut really late in development. The Alpha Heal Flower was an alternate ability to the Heal Flower. It would produce Sun immediately heal, but it would give less healing because the Sun was smaller. The E3 drone is just a garlic drone, but it spawns under the player instead of in front of the player. Sports Juice is a scrapped ability for All-Star that, after drinking, would make him Hulk out, becoming a lot more bulky. It was probably a limited weapon that would make All-Star attack at close range, but was replaced by Dummy Shield. Also, the image on the shield decoy may be a reference to the Sports Juice ability. I mentioned this one earlier, but we are talking about Super Team Vanquish. It's Team Vanquish, but with power-ups. While on most maps you can only have 6 power-ups at once, on the map Garden Center, for some reason, you can have 28 at once, which is weird. Your team needs to get 100 Vanquishes as opposed to 50 Vanquishes. The power-ups the player can get are Super Jump. Multiplies your jump by 4, which lasts 20 seconds. Money Bags adds 10,000 points, which means 10,000 coins. Armor makes you take half the damage from enemies for 20 seconds. Backup. Summon plant AI to help you fight if you're plants, and summon zombie AI to help you fight if you're zombies. Speedy. You get 1.5 times speed for 20 seconds. Star Power. Reduces damage taken to you by 75%. Multiplies your speed by 1.8% and walk into your opponents to kill them instantly. Only thing is, you can't use your weapons and the ability lasts for 20 seconds. Healing Aura. This provides a health boost for you and your teammates in a 5-meter radius, which generates for 5 hearts every half second, which lasts for 15 seconds. There are also scrapped power-ups for this game mode. Ability Reset. As soon as it's collected, all abilities reset. Heal instantly heals you for 200. Mini Heal only heals you for 50. Anyways, the next unused game mode is an infection-style game mode named Chomp Virus. The plants are only allowed to play as Chomper. When any zombie player dies by Chomper, they are sent to the plants team to play as Chomper also. The zombies had to collect antidotes every 45 seconds or they will die automatically and join the plants team. Also, everybody takes twice the amount of damage as before. After every zombie dies, the game will end and a new round will begin with 15-second start time. Also, the antidotes are actually just air tanks from Driftwood Shores, which was most likely as a placeholder before the game was scrapped. Also, the Chompers had a buff known internally as Chomp Virus Super Chomper, which gives the player regeneration. 4 times their jump height as normal and gives 1.5 movement speed. There's also a variant of this game mode, though, where zombies collect parts of a radio to call for rescue and win the game. The next piece of unused content was an extension of the map Zomba's Estate. There was an arena where it was scrapped out of the game, but it was planned since the beginning of the game. Normally, the prototype Zomba Arena never loads, but if you force the game to load the sub-world data in in order for it to show up. The Zombot has 2 attacks that he uses in the arena. First off, he will throw 2 to 4 walnuts from Walnut Hills, which normally only comes out of the coconut cannon. A second and final attack involves him spawning in a purple rock that, if stood on, will do 30 damage on a second for 5 seconds. Now, for unused codes, we got a SWAT zombie, which I would imagine would be similar to the concept art of the Foot Soldier. The code of the SWAT zombie also exists in PvZ Garden Warfare 2 and PvZ Battle for Neighborville, but there is some content removed from those games, like the skeleton info. In the next game in the series, Garden Warfare 2, they put Gravedigger in a tube in Z-Tech Factory, but it also has SWAT Zombie, meaning that around the same time Gravedigger was scrapped, the SWAT Zombie was probably also scrapped. Lastly, we have a healing gravestone. Under the file named Gravedigger, there are references to a scrapped ability named Healing Gravestone. Since this is probably the zombie's healing class, it was probably the predecessor to the healing station for scientists. The ability, besides the hand grenade, which was considered a scientist's scrapped ability, not Gravedigger, and the spotting and boss icons. Those are the only 2 references to Gravedigger still in the files. This code has also made it to Garden Warfare 2. Anyways, that's all the unused content in PvZ Garden Warfare 1. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But I will see you guys next time.